and we were talking there. I looked over and saw that it was saying it's stream time. So hello, everybody.
Hello, 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 hello. Yes. Welcome
All right,
to
and
the
now, just
Mikestand.
I know I probably haven't told you this before. Why I do it that way? Why I do it like why when I go live like this, and then I go over and I've had situations before, and I've had some people tell me before
Yeah,
where sometimes I'll get the show started,
yeah.
yet there'll be issues with my mic or something like that. Like people either can't hear me or I'm going choppy or roboty or
There's always
whatever.
going to be yes. You can't help that. It's got you got to flow with
So
it.
what I do is I go over and I do that, kind of like a mic check kind of thing to
Right.
kind of make sure that everything's going all right.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so before we get started here, Apex, would you like to introduce? Well, actually, how's your day? How'd your day go today?
Days fine. Actually, this is my vacation day. I'm trying to get things done, and did some sketching. I did. I don't know if you've seen this or not. Tentacle Girl. Have you heard of Gable Pennyshot by any chance?
Yeah, I think I've seen him. He's been on like Rex's channel a few
Yeah,
times.
yeah, yeah, he's in the chat a lot, different channels and stuff. But Gable Prettyshot he's a writer. I've seen his stuff. He's actually a decent, a good writer. You know,
Hmm.
puts out script. He puts out. I'm not familiar. I don't know if he does it professionally. He probably does it on the side. I'm thinking, but I think this is his first manga style comic book. I've never drawn manga before. This is like my
Hmm.
first attempt. This is I'm trying to get to the manga style. It's gonna take a while because it's totally different from what I do. Except you know that the eyes are bigger and the
Right.
face is a little smasller and they're
And
a lot of dashy lines and
even
stuff.
to this day, mangas they do more black and white as opposed to color most of the time.
Go ahead and enlarge my screen. I'll show the viewers what's going on. Thank you. Brett Cantrell, Apex Comics here. This is Tentacle Girl, a custom design of Tentacle Girl. She has six tentacles in the back, right?
Yeah,
She's looking like,
it,
yeah,
it, it
yeah.
okay, and just so I'm hearing it, make sure I'm hearing it right. It is
Yes.
tentacle girl, right?
Tentacle Girl, correct.
Tentacle, as well because sometimes when I hear you say it, it sounds a little different.
Oh, okay. It's not
No,
Testicle Girl, it's
no,
Tentacle
it's
Girl.
not.
Thank
I'm
you.
thinking it sounds.
Just
Sometimes it sounds like it's more like you're saying "tictical girl" for some reason.
Titular Girl?
Yeah,
No, it's Titular Girl. She may be titular later, but she's tentacle right now.
yeah.
She's a bundockus bun bun, and yeah, there she is here in her glory. Her hair covering up her beautiful breastises, and she has tentacles on her back. And I guess I'm sure that Gable came up with the idea. I think Rennie draws Irene Strakowski.
Hmm.
She has fiendish out, and she has characters like her villains have like tentacles going out, enslaving a lot of the characters. I'm sure that's
Hmm.
how Gable may have came up with that name, and I came up with the design, and there you have it.
Well, actually, there is a manga slash anime
Okay,
called Squid Girl.
Squid Girl. Okay, cool,
So yeah, so basically
sweet.
a half girl, half human, half squid girl, basically.
Oh, this was
So,
Tentacle Girl. And she's from, I think, the Northeast. The way Gable wrote her. I had a script on the Facebook on my messages. I like to actually download it, put it to print it out, just actually look it over.
right.
I like to look at things in print. That's how I work.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm gonna shrink you back to
shrink me back. Shrink me. Before
yeah,
I do this. Okay.
yeah. So Anyways, well, that sounded good. All right. So now now that we kind of chit chatted a little bit there, you want to give an intro, tell everybody who you are, what you do, and all that. Of course, I know you just did some of that, but
Yeah, I'm Apex Comics. In case you didn't know, yeah, that's my name. There you go. I'm Brett Cantrell. Apex Comics is my company. I go by Apex, my stage name, and people remember me as famously, sort of famously known as Apex Comics. Even Ethan Van Sciver knows who I am, and there you go. That's
yeah,
famous enough.
yeah,
So yeah,
streaming right
hail
well.
to the mighty chat. Hail. I have a oh, I'm working on a cover. Let me get it out real quick. Um, well, I've worked on one. This is my alternate cover for the Fembat the Creep preview ash can. Let me get it out of my file. Add in my portfolio. Let's see. And oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, cool. Yes.
You
This is
about to
gonna
show us some of your work? All right,
yeah.
I'll enlarge you there.
Thank you. Yeah, this is the creep, the Fembat creep, or yeah, Fembat and the creep preview ashcan
Look like
alternate
the
cover
creep is about to eat her.
or liquor. He usually licks women, but I guess he caught her by surprise. He snuck up to her, and she's like, "Well, what the hell is that?" Ah, her surprise look in her fangs.
Now, of course, so
Yeah.
everybody knows. Well, oh, this is the creep though, not to be confused with the creeper.
No, exactly. The Creeper's a DC character. He has yellow skin. The Creep is 100 feet tall with pink skin. He's 100 feet of pink perversion,
Hmm.
Mike. 100 feet of pink
And
perversion.
he looks like he got kind of a skull face there. The skull face there
Yes,
kind of
exactly.
reminds
There's
me
another
of.
one. The Creep licking Ashley Gaia Storm. Here's a YouTuber. And yeah, she's enjoyed being licked by the Creep. Come on, lick me, baby. He goes, yes, I will. You're like a lollipop. Yes, there's another one of the creep. And this is gonna be I think I'm gonna have this full color cover on my ashcan. So it's 6 pages of Fembat and 6 pages of the creep and a like a little mini poster inside the book stapled. Plus with some pinups of um, some of my character teams and characters in the Apex verse. The creep. Yes.
Hmm,
There's gonna be the back cover.
yeah.
So there you go. It's $8 post paid. If you go ahead and order tonight, or if you're watching the Mike Walters, just say, "Hey, let's order yourself Finbat the Creep preview ask can." Tell in the of course include your shipping address. Along with that, tell him how you discovered it. Just say, I watched Mike on the Mikestand. I'll watch this episode on Mikestand. You say that in the comics, I'll throw in a free print along with the package.
All right. If you want to, oh, we have somebody joining us.
Welcome to Antioch. Welcome.
Yeah, also known as Jr. Exner. Hail
Truce.
Xenu, Xenu, and Xena are only true saviors. Hey there.
Yeah.
So,
Welcome.
did you want to share any links to any sites that you
Yes, I need to do that. I sure do. Let me just do it real quick. Oh, so prepared, right?
and I know the elk there, aka Jr. is a bit of a if he hasn't got anything of your work yet, I'm sure he might be
Oh, RJ?
willing to at least take a Jr.
Oh,
Well, this guy's name is Jr.
oh, is he JR? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
He used to be on here under the name J.R. Exner, but for whatever
is he?
I don't.
Or was he? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me put it in real quickly so you can get on with the show. Don't you know? Don't you know? Let's see. Oh, here we go. And put the link in. Da, 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 da. And that and this with this.
I identify as the elk.
Oh, da, da, da. Make sure it's correct. Let's see. Yes, and be sure to add your shipping address and say
Hmm.
I watched the
Why
mic
is it?
stand and the got and I learned this book from I what do you say? Oh yeah, I saw this book on the mic stand. That's all you gotta say, or mention the mic
Hmm.
stand, and then you'll get a free print when you order Finbat the
You
Creep
put the
Preview
link in, right?
right now.
Oh, okay. There we go. I was a little worried there because
Now I had to explain and keep explaining. I'd have to talk. Got to keep the show rolling.
yeah. So there it is, guys. If you guys want to check it out there, you guys can go ahead and give Apex some love. And then you want to repeat what you were just saying because I know it kind of
Oh
was.
yes, I need. Probably I should. I should probably also. I should type this in as well. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, say it. Message that you watched the mic stand. Mic stand is all caps. Yes.
Right.
I'm gonna make sure I
Mhm.
did this right. Is it Mike space stand or Mike stand
It's
altogether?
mic stand is one word. The is one word. So
Great. Okay, the Mike stand. Great. I just want to make sure I get it right. Okay, right. And you receive a free print. Yes, mention the mic stand and you will receive a free print along with your Fembat the Creep preview ash can.
all
It's
right,
like a $10 value, so you get it for free. There you go.
all right. So here's that.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for that for help promoting the show there,
Of course.
Apex. Um. Okay. So now we're now coming up on 13 minutes here. So I think it's about time to get to
Let's do
feature
it.
our feature presentation, as it were. So
Yes.
tonight, folks, what we're going to do is we're going to do our weekly thing where we go over the indie comic showcase from um, Bleeding Fool. Um, to kind of kind of get the word out to, another way to help, of course, Chris Braley and Bleeding Fool get the word out to some of these guys hard at work, publishing their books and all that. So, Indie Comic Showcase number 261, Death Sentence Cyberpunk, Beyond the Stars, and B. Article by Chris Braley, published yesterday, the 21st. So here we go. And just as a reminder, of course, if you guys haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here we mention grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and we will try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. So without no further ado, let's go ahead and get this going here. Welcome back to another installment of Indie Comic Showcase, the weekly blog where we signal boost a few truly independent comics that are currently crowdfunding their projects, crowdsourcing their funding in some way, or just completely self publishing on their own. Every little bit of support for these creators matters, from a single dollar pledge to the $25 bundle. And of course, the higher tiers are usually fun too. Even if you can't back a campaign or buy a book, you can share or tweet about these projects to your friends and followers. On Indie Comic Showcase, we interview the creators, show off some art, and tell you how you can check out the product for yourself. below we have some outstanding crowdfunding campaigns this week for you to learn about, enjoy, and hopefully support by backing one or more of them. Thanks for checking these out and for being the best part of Indie Comic Showcase. Let's jump in. So, um, the first the first book here that they decided to go over here um, is Death Sentence Cyberpunk Chrome Roses by Monty Nero. You ever heard of Monty Nero, Apex?
I'm not.
All right, so
It's good art.
before we get more into the article here, let me just go over to grab the link here.
That's a sexy girl. Just bring her up here just a moment. Just see what she looks like. Let's get the viewers some eyeful candy. Can we? Can we just move it up there as to where the cover is?
Oh yeah, well I'm just grabbing the link
Oh,
right now,
sure,
so
of
just give me a
course.
sec here.
Oh yeah, I'll settle down.
Yeah.
Don't get too excited, Apex. It's okay.
All right, let me just do one more. Well, I was gonna go back up anyways because
Oh,
I
hey
know.
now, look at that. That's beautiful work. Who's the
Yeah.
artist on this one?
Well, we'll find out soon enough when we go through the article. So
That's so cool.
just give me a sec to do one. Okay, Death Sentence
I'm gonna have to
Cyber.
pick this one up. The Chrome, what's it? The Chrome
Well,
Roses,
I'm about to drop the link in the chat right now. So
Cold Side Comics. Cool, man. I'm gonna write this down. Oh, let's see. The Chrome Descendant Cyberpunk. Okay, that cover's rocking. I really like it.
hmm,
Chrome Roses. It's a cool title. I wonder how many copies that sold. I'm curious. Monte Nero. Okay. It's good that you cover this like every week because we have like undiscovered talent people never heard of, and it gives them exposure. It's pretty cool.
yeah, I figured it would help. To do my part to help out a bit there.
Yeah,
So there's the link is in the chat, folks. If you want to go check that out, I'm sure Apex you would like to go check that out as well.
it
From what
looks really cool. I like it. Yeah,
yeah. So so
Monte
there it
Nero.
is. Death sentence. Oh I, oh well.
That's all right. Dead sentence. Hey. Yeah, it's cool. They don't
Let me
talk.
make a slight correction. Well, I can't edit it. I can't edit it, but what I can
That's
do
okay. Yeah,
is just,
that's it's death sentence and like an arrow pointing up. Hey, yeah, we all
my
know it's.
fingers were not
Uh, I,
cooperative.
I've been there too. Trust me. Uh, lots of boo boos. Yeah. Wow, that makes a cool poster. I think the crown roses. Yeah, let's discover this
All right,
beauty.
that's the corrected corrected version.
There you go.
So the link is correct in both cases. It's just and this is a Kickstarter campaign, by the way, just to let everybody know.
Oh, Kickstarter. Okay, I
Right.
hardly ever support Kickstarter, but this is one I'll probably will support it.
Yeah. I usually will tell people when I pick it up, when I bring the links up and stuff like that, what site it's usually on. Just all
Five
right.
hundred pages. Oh my god! Wow. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right. So get into the art. Let's get into the interview here. But before we do, I'll give you one because I know you really
Oh,
like that.
she is hot. Look at her. She's a beauty.
I'll give you a little.
Lovely but deadly.
Yeah. In fact, since I know that for at least a moment here, let's expand it. Give everybody a
Let's,
real good eyeful.
let's soak this in, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Notice the line work and the interiors and the colors. Breathtaking. I don't know. Is she hero? Is she villain? Or is she the fantasy of your dreams?
Hmm. Well, let's find that out, Apex, as we now get let's get into the interview here, as it were.
Yeah, book one.
All right. So, Chris Braley, welcome to Indie Comics Showcase, Monty. What's your Monty Nero? I guess is the artist, or I don't know if he's. I think he's the writer.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Monty, what's your pitch for Death Sentence Cyberpunk? Monty Nero. That's a very interesting name too, right? Monty
yeah. It
Nero.
is cool name.
An outcast detective and punk vigilante team up to investigate a strange string of murders linked to a deadly pandemic told in three prestige format books of 48 pages each. So that's 144 pages right there.
Hey,
Grand
I have
total.
an idea. Why don't you be Chris Braley? I'll be Monty Nero. Is that we'll got role
All
play?
right.
Cool.
All right. Well, all right, that will work. I'm so used to doing this all on my own. So, Chris, where did the idea for this comic come from?
Well, it's a development of my Death Sentence comic, which I've been self-publishing for 10 years. It's been collected by Titan Comics into a 500-page definitive edition later this year. Death Sentence Cyberpunk shows happens to the world in 100 years. I've always wanted to do a cyberpunk comic book, and as a writer, I've been noting and down interesting ideas about the future to include in this for years. It's a little different from other cyberpunk books.
Yeah, I do know that cyberpunk is considered a pretty interesting genre.
Yeah,
Um, and if you can just since this isn't like when we're doing the historical comic version, since it's more of a
yeah,
news article, if you can just
yeah.
remember to even though it may be obvious, just identify who you're speaking as there.
I'm
You notice
Monty
how
Nero.
yeah.
Just
So
be the character. It makes it interesting.
Chris, who is it material aimed at? Okay.
Monty
First,
Nero.
before you go, gotta say something real quick here, Apex, just before you go there. Bit of a typo there. Who is it material aimed at? I think he meant to say who is this material aimed at? So
Who's it
who?
for? Who's the audience? Right,
Right.
right.
All right. Now go. I just had to point that out.
Monty Nero says adults who are into cyberpunk, sci fi, action, film noir, detective fiction, and murder mysteries, fans of Blade Runner, Hellboy, Akira, The Big Sleep, The Maltese Falcon, Killtopia, The Future is Now.
Now, Keltopia, I think, is a more recent title that's been
Yeah,
coming
I
out
think so.
recently.
Yeah,
And Akira, that's a manga anime. In fact, there was a movie back in 1988, probably considered one of the biggest
agreed. Agreed.
anime movies of all time.
It's, oh, so fun, so dynamic, beautiful illustrations.
So
Oh, this
he, and
looks really good.
here's some of the artwork here.
Ooh, feels that bot.
Well, we'll find out in the because okay. So Chris asked, talk about your creative. Oh, you're going to get the chance here, Apex. So, Chris, talk about your creative team that contributed to this project.
Monty says, it's all me on this cyberpunk book. I hand draw everything with pencil, ink, Copics, acrylic paint, and airbrush. Damn, he's a badass. I was involved in a high speed crash last February, and drawing this was a very healing experience.
Wow. So basically, as he was recouping, he was doing his artwork. So his
Yes.
drawing.
Oh, that's fantastic. Wow. I also wrote and drew the last three issues of Death Sentence Liberty, the third Death Sentence graphic novel. The other half of that was drawn, painted by Martin Simmons, who did the Department of Truth, who also did all the art for book two, Death Sentence London, 156 pages. The first book, Death Sentence, which is 168 pages, was drawn by the series co-creator Mike Dowling, who now works for Marvel.
All right. So I think you got your questions answered who was doing the drawing on some of this.
He did. That's fantastic. Wow. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm. Chris, how far along is the book? Um, oh,
Monty says the first book is nearly finished and all the scripts are written. I write a full script for each page with dialogue, then thumbnails and drawing, inking, painting before scanning in. I often change the action or location to make the story more visually interesting as I draw it. For instance, a scene that was set in an old factory now takes vertically in a zero G pleasure dome, just because it looks better and the action is more interesting.
Zero G Pleasure Dome. Wonder what that is.
Yeah, one wonders.
I
Anyway,
wonder, wonder, wonder who.
in the zero pleasure dome. All right.
All right, so Chris, um, what have you been learning from self-publishing, Monty?
Monty says, I've learned a lot over the years about how to self publish profitably. I've got a warehouse in both Texas and the UK to keep costs down. Wow, this must have does pretty well for himself. I keep things simple and focus purely on the comics and art. I don't make toothbrushes or gimmicky rewards. The better I make the comic, the more people like and buy it. I've always put everything I've got into every page of this comic, and people respond to that. It's why the comic still sells well 10 years later. And he's right.
Mhm.
God, that detail, too. Wow. That's impressive. Hand drawn.
Yep.
That's computer nonsense. Good going, Monty.
Chris, the art looks great and epic. Would you agree with that,
Hey,
Apex?
yeah, agreed.
Do you have more stories to tell in this universe?
Oh, Monty says, yes. I have scores of cyberpunk and detective stories written, and this is the world I'm building to tell them in.
Chris, good luck on the campaign and congrats on hitting your funding goal. Anything else you would like to share with our readers before we sign off?
Monty, I'm hugely grateful to anyone who buys or supports creator owned or self published comics. I feel very lucky to be alive at a time to put all my creative energy into my own stories and characters and have people buy them. I hope everyone enjoys this new story.
All right, so there we
Check it
go with that one.
out. Bea by Rolling Man. Yeah, Rolling Man was on he was on yeah, he was on Rex's live streams, I think last week.
All right,
Good
so
stuff.
Bea, is that how I thought it was? I
I
wasn't
guess
sure it was
it's Bea.
Bea, Bea, or B.
I think it's Bea.
Bea.
Yeah.
Okay, by Roland Man. Okay, now before we get started here, and before we get let me go grab the link here.
Yeah.
This one. And
Check it
this is
out.
a fun my comic project. Apparently
Yeah.
from Silverline Comics.
Yeah. Yeah. He's part of the Silver Line team. He's in fact he's the owner, so I think he owns it. Rolling Man. Yeah. Uh, former uh, former editor and writer for Malibu Comics. He edits the Protectors, which is one of my favorite superhero teams of indie comics back in the early '90s.
Hmm.
And it came out the same time, I believe, well, shortly before the image boom. I believe 1 year before the image boom, as far as I know. But yeah, he's worked along with some other creators from Malibu. I can't recall their names offhand, but yeah, he's the main guy, one of the main guys there.
All right, so here's the link for you guys to go check that book out, if you'd like.
Yeah,
So, anyways, let's get into this then.
yeah.
It looks at least a little bit to be kind of like a cartoony type book. It's Bea, and then see what looks like a teddy bear right. It's some kind of bear or teddy bear right there, and
Little
a
pig.
pig.
Move,
Oh,
Hoglet. They can't read your story with you in the way.
Bah,
Maybe.
bah, oink, 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 bah, look so strange. All right, so I'll do Chris again, and then you want to do
I'll be
Roland.
rolling. Yeah, I'll be
All
rolling
right,
back.
so Chris Braley, welcome back to Indie Comic Showcase, Roland. What's the pitch for Bea?
Roland. When the kid disappears from the playhouse, chaos goes wild with all the toys, except for one. Bad tells the toys that the kid told him he was going to come back and take them all to the big house once he's finished building the room for them. Thing is, most of the toys don't believe him, and a chaos reigns without the kid to maintain the law.
Chris, what's the genesis of this story?
Roland. It started out as straight Winnie the Pooh parody of what happens with Pooh, Piglet, and the gang when Christopher Robin gets older and leaves. Then
Hmm.
it turned into something of its own, the way a lot of parodies do. I want to self publish it because I get to make all decisions about what to do with it.
Yeah, you know, I might, I don't know if I saw him on that or somewhere else, but that premise right there does sound a little from. I think I did hear some because I
Yeah.
think Roland might have gone on RJ's stream too recently as
Yeah.
well.
He's making the rounds. You can get this out there.
So
So, yeah.
yeah, I think because I think I heard something about that too.
Yeah.
Look, there's a bear and a little doggy there. You got bear, a
Oh,
pig, a dog.
it's fun.
Yeah, it's kind of bonk.
Little slapstick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Chris, what kind of comic readers is this suited for?
Roland. All ages. The art makes people think it's a kid's book, and while kids can read it, there's more there for adults than for kids. Fans of classic cartoons would probably like this, and as there are nods from Winnie the Pooh to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, I'll tell you this as somebody who is a classic cartoon aficionado. Yeah, I was pretty much thinking that same thing. That this kind of
Yeah,
does remind me of a lot of those old classics from the Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies
yeah.
to obviously the MGM stuff with Tom and Jerry, Barney Bear, and
So,
to of course Walter Lantz Productions.
like maybe Pogo, like a comic strip in the newspapers, kind of reminds me of that too a little bit.
Yeah,
It's like they're having fun here.
yeah. Chris, tell us about your style and creative process, Roland, and who is your team on this?
Roland. To me, story is king, and story has to come first. You can have interesting characters, but if they have no story, the interest wears off fast. Often it's story that makes them interesting in the first place. I'm the creator, writer, and Haley Martin is the artist. She does all the art from the line art to the color. It's pretty incredible.
Do you know who Haley Martin is?
No, not until now.
Okay. Chris, what's your production workflow like?
Roland, I'm an outliner. It goes back to story. Often there's a concept or a character that I like. Once I figure out who the protagonist is or what the situation is, then I try to figure out what the bigger picture is. Once I get that figured out, I outline it all and make sure all the pieces come together.
I just need to go away from the computer here for a quick moment because I just realized I left my little heater on there. You can probably hear the
Oh, yeah, you might want
background. So
to check
so
that
let
out.
me go, so I'm gonna go do that. While I'm doing that, why don't you I don't know talk to the chat or talk about what we've read so far?
Yeah,
I'll be right back like in a sec here.
sure. Yeah, it's a very interesting premise. Really cool book. If you're into like Winnie the Pooh, all the looks like we have a Batman style character there on the upcoming panels. Let's see here. Occasionally, I, as the narrator, interject to give my opinion of this and that. At one point in time, I was in commanded not to do such and that a certain someone I knew, blah blah blah. I don't want to go
Mhm.
into that, but yeah,
Or were you trying to read some?
let's
Were
read
you
that.
trying?
It's like a Batman character in the strip there.
Uh,
He looks like Batman.
Actually, yeah, there is.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
crazy. Look at that. That's
well,
wild.
look, it seems like it's a combination of because you got Batman there,
Oh, and
and
Ninja
as they
Turtle arm,
mentioned,
Donatello.
from Teenage
He's
Mutant
like an
Ninja
amalgam.
Turtles.
Yeah, oh, it's crazy.
All right, so Chris, what's your take on the crowdfunding community and getting the word out on your projects?
Roland. Well, that's hard to get heard without a lot of drama. I just want to tell some fun stories, not to be involved in community drama.
You know what? You know what's kind of funny about that statement?
Yeah.
I actually was. It's kind of funny because recently Tim Olson, who does, of course, Melvin.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't know Tim? Come on.
Yeah, well, he and I were having. He mentioned to me that same thing that he wasn't too keen on how the community's kind of evolved now into where there's just so much drama surrounding a lot of it now. Of course, one of the bigger stories has been around for the last couple of months here is, of course, the whole thing between EVS and Eric July, but also, but it just does seem like, well, as I said, I'm more of a commentator news guy. I'm not, I'm
Oh, yeah.
not, you know, initially, I never necessarily thought, I didn't necessarily think of myself as Comic Gates until there was a particular way Doc explained it to me. Doc Blaylock explained it to
Yeah.
me that I am, even though I'm not necessarily a creator myself.
Right.
I'm more of a commentator. You know,
Right.
the way Doc explained it to me is if I believe in a lot of the same things that the people in Comic Geek believe in, like the idea of story first,
Yeah.
agenda last, kind of
Right.
thing. You know, then I am part of Comics Gate. So,
Yeah. In a
yeah.
way, naturally, because it's common sense things that people love to be entertained, and you're
Mhm.
entertaining an audience, and people want to escape.
Mhm.
It's essentially that's what you should be doing anyway. I mean, that's what Hollywood did 20, 30 years ago until so they just got woke, gradually woke, and you know what happens, and
Uh-huh.
all their material just turns to doo doo, and people don't go to movies anymore, or buy as many comic books like they used to, or this and that. Even video games, there
Hey,
are
that's part of the reason why I do the historical comic retrospect
exactly
on Friday nights because to show
yes,
people, look, wasn't always that way, and there
exactly
was some good stuff. Now, grant doesn't mean that even in the golden age they didn't necessarily put some of their political ideologies into it, but it
it's
was
only a light
generally
touch
part
of
of
it,
the story. It was what the message wasn't the big thing. It was the story was the big thing, and then
right?
the message was just happily placed in there. You know.
Exactly. Only a touch of political
Right.
commentary. Yeah.
Um, Chris, how many issues of Bea have you got planned?
Roland, this is number two of a four-issue miniseries. Whether more stories follow really depends on how well this one does. As to whether I have them, yes, I do, and I'm already setting them up in the first volume.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then Chris asked, any special crowdfunding perks you'd like to mention?
Roland, we have a campaign only foil cover that looks hot. Remember to hashtag make mine Silverline.
Yeah, I
There you
know I've
go.
heard that phrase before too. So
Make mine Marvel. Make mine Silverline. Got it.
well,
Yes.
apparently we've got another Silverline
Oh,
title coming here.
oh,
Ron 40
Fortier.
Beyond the Stars
Yeah,
by Ron Fortier. Let me just
yeah.
now before we get
This is cool.
let me go grab the link here. And
Grab the. Yeah,
this is another one from that's on Fun My Comic.
Yeah, interesting cover too.
I'll go back up real quick.
Sure. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, Beyond the Stars. Wow, look at that. Fortier, Bormida, and Belcher. It must be issue 3, I think. Beyond the Stars. You go and get go further down the cover if you would. Where
Oh,
here?
just give me a sec because
Okay.
I was needing to in order to be able to see the cover so I could type out the
Sh-
title there.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
All right, so there's the link for you guys if you
Hmm.
want to go ahead and check that. And now we'll go down the cover. Yeah, and I guess Bormida and Belcher are probably two of the other creators on it.
Yeah. Better
You got
colors.
some kind of winged
Eager.
cat
Oh,
thing going there. You see that?
wing cat. It's crazy. Like, oh, what's going on? Uh,
Trapped aboard an alien spaceship.
you don't let your banner down. Let's see it.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
There. Yeah, I can see it better. Yeah.
that's all
Very
right. I
cool.
didn't even realize that, but
Trapped aboard, and then yeah, like that. This is really cool. Is it like she's transforming into? This is like 3 different vessels. Yeah. There's one just a regular, just a normal human woman. The other one, part android, part woman. The other one, she's like all android. That's crazy. It's like Colossus' wife.
oh, yeah. Now, just so you understand, like when we first at the beginning here, I usually will say the full name, and then after that, I'll just say the so if
First name. Yeah. Right.
so just so you know. So
Right.
anyway, so Chris Braley, welcome to Indie Comic Showcase. Ron, tell me the pitch for Beyond the Stars.
Ron Fortier says, in the far future, the empire of man is threatened by a galactic-sized black cloud that devours everything in its path. First line of defense is the empire's core of science warriors. 6 issues, full color.
And this looks like a alt cover here, like a
Oh, this
variant
is
cover.
it's cool. Silverline has something good stuff. Wow.
Uh-huh.
Trapped aboard
I
an
guess
alien.
I guess that's the title of the story: trapped aboard an alien starship. Because
Yeah.
if you saw go,
Yeah, it's like same title. Yeah. It's a variant cover.
yeah.
It's a nice one.
All right, Chris, where did the idea for this comic come from?
Ron, idea was born after I saw 6 pages done by the artist without any captions or dialogues. Had to create a story from the images and work backwards to develop a plot, characters, etc. As an original concept, Silverline was our first choice to publish.
Hmm.
That's some nice work. Wow.
Oh, look at the detail! Like
On her feet. Look at that. That's like I think you took a reference as like a tennis shoe or some or a sneaker or something, and it's just kind of this combination of soles and actually the shape of the foot.
yeah.
It's like
Hmm.
around like that. It's, it's really cool.
Okay. So, Chris, what kind of comic readers is Beyond the Stars aimed at?
Ron, lovers of all sci-fi from Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers to Star Trek and Star Wars.
Hmm. Quite a cavalcade of influence there, huh?
Oh yeah, kind of has a little bit of a classic sci-fi from the late 30s and 40s. I'm thinking.
Chris, how did you develop your creative style, Ron?
Ron, I love comics as they are limited only by one's imagination. Creatively, I develop learning their strengths and weaknesses. Then I create a conflict that challenges who they are. That's the crux of any good story. Writing is a gift from God, and I do my best to tell stories that will both entertain readers but also exemplify the power of goodness over evil.
So, creating challenging conflicts is the crux of a good story. Not pushing agendas, right?
There you go.
Not messaging, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
uh,
Do it the right way, folks. Tell a story.
mhm. Chris, good point. Who was your creative team on this?
Ron, I'm a 50-year veteran of comic writing. Damn, I didn't realize that, huh? Artist
50
Andrea,
years. So
50
that
years,
means he's been doing it since
50,
1974, a year before I
yeah,
was born.
yeah. I got to look at his biography. I definitely would. Artist Andrea Bormida has been drawing professionally for the past 35 years, primarily for the European market. Artist letterer Mike Belcher is also a pro and creator of 20 years experience. I write. Andrea pencils, inks, and colors, and Mike letters.
All right.
Currently, all
And
six.
oh,
Excuse me. Currently, all six scripts have been written. The first two issues have been released, and the third is now at Kickstarter. Andre is plowing ahead on his art, and is it Andre or I don't know. And for issue number 4, while Mike waits in the wings to get his hands on it.
well, I'm not sure if it's Andrea or Andrea, but I think her last name is pronounced Bormida. I think it's I think
it
it's
it's a man. It's a
yeah,
man. Yeah,
yeah.
she's a man, baby.
Okay, then it's probably Andrea. Then I would think.
Andre. I don't know.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it might be Andrea because
Yeah,
if it's a guy, right?
it's
If it's a
Andrea.
guy, then it's probably Andrea
Yeah,
because that's more like I think that's more of a Spanish name right there.
it's
Or
Spanish. Yeah, I
yeah,
think so.
so it's probably Andrea
Mhm.
Bormida.
Andrea Bermina. Yeah.
So Chris, what do you like most about self-publishing?
Ron, I love selfish publishing because I'm not
I,
dependent on
now,
others.
was that a misprint or was that
He
deliberate?
probably actually said that. He said as yeah, as a tongue-in-cheek thing. I love selfish publishing because I'm not dependent on others telling me what I can or cannot do with my stories. Amen.
Hmm.
After 30 years of writing characters like the Green Hornet, the Terminator, Rambo, Peter Pan, Popeye, Gene Roddenberry's Lost Uniform, it's a lot more fun flexing my creative juices with Mr. Jigsaw Man of 1,000 parts, the Boston Bombers, and the Crimson Nun and Chivalry Inc.
Hmm.
So
Sounds like you got a pretty interesting,
titles, man, it looks really
well,
cool.
interesting universe he's building there.
Oh yeah,
Um,
it's really
yeah,
cool.
and quick comment here before we go on to the next exchange there.
Yeah,
Um, that's something when I as I told I've been doing this for a while now, the last for months now, where I've been covering these um the indie comic showcase, right? Going through them,
yeah,
going through these interviews, and
yeah.
that does how they talk about the idea of you know not having to listen to somebody else, with being able to do what they want and not have to answer to anybody else. That's a pretty common thing
That's
for a
right.
lot of. It's something I found quite a bit in these articles where when they talk about this.
Hmm.
One of the things they really do love about self publishing is that they don't have to
Freedom.
answer to anybody else. They don't have to, they don't have somebody over their shoulder telling them what they can and can't do with a character.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's
because it's
freedom,
their character.
freedom, freedom of
Yeah,
expression. Not that being your own, not answering to a corporation tell you what to do. Yeah.
yeah. Chris, how is the campaign going, and what do you want people to know about it?
Ron, if the campaign is successful fast, then we'll be offering digital copies of my prose pulp book, Brother Bones, the Undead Avenger, Ooh, that's cool. My homage to such classics as The Shadow and The Spider, publishing by my own house, Airship 27 Production.
Hmm.
Oh, nice visuals.
Yeah. Chris then asks, anything else you would like to share with our readers before we sign off?
Ron, Andrea's art is new to American readers. He has a very strong, clean line and are mindful of folks like Russ Manning and Jerry Ordway. Every page is beautiful.
Chris, it looks great. Good luck on the campaign, Ron.
Thank you, Chris.
And then, so that's it for this installment. If you're a creator ramping up your own campaign or have a comic available for purchase online and you want to be featured in our weekly column, click here and follow Indie Comic Showcase on Twitter at Indie um, Comics and reach out to them for more eyes on your crowdfunding comic project. Until next time, support Indie Comics.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. So I'm gonna stop share screen for a moment here. So let's see. Oh yeah. Oh wow. So yeah, took a look. Usually, if I just reading it myself, I get to about the 40-minute mark. We're already at the 51-minute mark here,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna just check something because you were talking about Ron 48 bio. I'm gonna go over to Wikipedia real quick
Oh, yeah.
here. See if I
I've,
can
I've
find
seen
it.
that name many times. I'm sure I've read some of his stuff too. I got a ton of
Well,
comics.
he was born November 5th, 1946.
Okay.
So
So,
he
yeah.
was,
He's 70, he'll be 78 this year.
yeah,
I didn't realize that. Oh, wow.
yeah. I'll even bring that up here. Well, 74. That was like the year before I was even born. So,
Yeah, right.
wrong thing, Mike. Um, Ron Fortier, born November 5th, 1946, is an American author, primarily known for his Green Hornet and the Terminator comic books, and his revival of the pulp hero Captain Hazard. Early in his career, he also wrote short stories and co-author of 2 novels for TSR.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's basically what he's known for right there.
Yeah, that's great. I do have some Terminators and Green Hornet comics. So, yeah, I've got some of his work.
All right, so
Nice.
you probably have read some of his work there
Of
before.
course. Yeah, it's good.
All right, so now we're gonna do the wrestling wrap up real quick, or
Okay.
as quick as possible here, because
Get up to
we
now.
do have some stuff. So WWE will be heading into this weekend's this week. They'll be in they'll be in Perth, Australia this weekend
Cool.
for Elimination Chamber. So we're gonna go ahead and just tell you guys what's on tap there. Um, It'll be broadcast on Saturday. Saturday. So in the elimination chamber, since I grab that here. So they're calling it WWE Elimination Chamber Perth, as they're in Perth, Australia,
Hmm.
specifically at the in Birchwood, Western Australia, at Optus Stadium.
Cool.
So the matches include for the unified tag team titles. The Judgment Day will be defending against the New Catch Republic of Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates.
Hmm.
The in a number one contender elimination chambers match for the WWE Women's World Title. You have Becky Lynch, Naomi, who recently made her return to the WWE, Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Raquel Rodriguez, and Stephanie Stratton, who was just called up from NXT. In a number one contendership match for elimination chamber match for the WWE World Heavyweight Title, you have Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, and LA Knight. And then for the WWE Women's World Title match, Rhea Ripley defends against Nia Jax. So that's what's going on this weekend there. So now for some AEW news. Let's see. Oh, tonight's Thursday. So from last night's Dynamite results from last night. I grab that here. I do know that the BCC and FTR, who are in a tag team match, you had Claudio Castagnoli and John Moxley of the Blackpool Combat Club taking on FTR of Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. They went to a 20-minute draw. In a non-title match, Orange Cassidy, who is the current AEW International Heavyweight Title champion, defeated Mike Bennett. Tony Storm defeated Sydney Winnow in a again being the AEW World Women's champion. Deonna Purrazzo defeated Madison Rayne. The main event saw Samoa Joe team with Mogul Embassy members of Brian Cage and Swerve Strickland to defeat Hangman Adam Page, Hook, and Rob Van Dam by referee's decision.
Right.
And as they continued the build, of course, towards Revolution in a couple of weeks on March 3rd in Greensboro, at the Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, Sting and Darby Allin had some key things to say as they will be defending the AEW World Tag Team titles against Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
And then finally, some TNA news on tonight's TNA as they head into tomorrow night's. They head into tomorrow night's. I think it's No Surrender pay-per-view. On tonight's Impact, you will see Trent Seven taking on Steve Macklin, Chris Sabin taking on Jason Hotch, Simon Gotch, who recently made his debut in TNA, taking on Jack Price, Eric Young taking on Big Damo, Ash by Elegance, formerly Dana Brooke of WWE fame, takes on Savannah Thorne, and Kevin Knight and the Time Splitters take on the System of Impact World Champion Moose, with Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards. Now this is, as I said, leading up into the I think it's the No Surrender paper, either No Surrender or Sacrifice. So let me see that real quick. No Surrender, which is tomorrow night on pay-per-view. It'll be on TNA Plus from the Alario Center in West Wago, Louisiana. And the matches will include opening up PCO taking on Cone, Simon Gotch taking on two-time TNA World Champion Josh Alexander. The Knockouts World Tag Team titles will be on the line as Decay, Hook, and Havoc and Rosemary will be defending against former champs who are getting their contractual rematch. MK Ultra of Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovich. In the finals of the best of three series for the TNA World Tag titles, champions Ace Austin and Chris Bay ABC take on the grizzled young vets of Zach Gibson and James Drake. Chris Sabin defends the TNA X Division title against recent TNA signee Mustafa Ali. Jordan Grace defends the TNA Knockout World title against Giselle Shaw. And Moose, as we mentioned before, will be defending the TNA World title against Alex Shelley. in what they call a no surrender rules match. Now, what it is that each participant will have basically his group of friends with him. So in the case of Moose, he'll have, of course, Brian Myers and Eddie and Alicia Edwards in his corner, and Alex Shelley will have Kevin Knight and Kushida in his corner. Now, how this work, the match, um, the way this match works is that the winner is the guy who can get his opponent's cornermen to throw in the towel.
Okay.
So,
Got it.
that's how this match. Apparently, the rules for this no surrender. So the match will keep going until one of the competitors
Throws in the towel.
and then throws
Bam.
in the towel.
That's it. Yeah, I hate to rush it, Mike, but I got to get to a live stream very shortly. So if you want to wrap
All right.
it
Well,
up.
I'm gonna wrap up real quick here with the
Okay.
this day and age
Cool.
history.
I don't mean to rush.
Yeah. So let me see. Okay. So I'm done with that. So 1994, 84. Now today being Thursday, February 22nd. Let's take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. History! 2014, 2009, 1984, and 1994. Okay, so here we go. So first off, I'm going to head back 40 years ago today. On this date, 40 years ago today, and I will try to get... on this date, 40 years ago today, Jumbo Tsuruta defeated Nick Bockwinkel for the AWA World Heavyweight title in Tokyo. So on this date, 40 years ago today, Jumbo Tsuruta defeated Nick Bockwinkel for the AWA World title in Tokyo. Moving ahead now to 1994. So I find that one. On this date in 1994, 30 years ago today, the 220th issue of Savage Sword of Conan from Marvel's Magazine's imprint went on sale on this date in 1994, 30 years ago today. Sold for $2.25. Went 64 pages. The two stories that were in there were Death's Dark Terror and Talons of Nergal. So,
Hell yeah. What a value.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on to 2009, 15 years ago today. On this date in 2009, the 81st Academy Awards took place on this date in 2009, 15 years ago today. WALL-E won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, while La Maison en Petit Cubis by Kunio Kato wins the Academy Award for Best Animated Short. Now, moving ahead to 2014. 2014. On this date in 2014, Satellite's anime film Audacious Space Pirates Abyss of Hyperspace premiered in Japanese theaters on this date back in 2014. So Bodacious Space Pirates Abyss of Hyperspace, the anime film from Satellite Studio, premiered in Japanese theaters on this date in 2014, 10 years ago today. So with that, I thank everybody for being here. I hope everybody had enjoyed the show. Tomorrow night, of course, Rick Piper will be joining me as we'll be looking back to January of 1940, looking back at books that went on sale in that time. We'll be looking at quality comics, so we'll be featuring, of course, Doll Man, Invisible Hood, The Clock, or as we on this channel have affectionately called him over the time, Captain Napkin Face.
Right.
and Black Egg. And of course, Apex, I hope I'll see you in the chat tomorrow. I know
Sure.
you'll probably be working more likely, but
We'll see.
you can stick around for a moment just for a
Yeah, sure.
quick post show. I know you have to get going, so I'll try to. So with that, I thank everybody for being here, and
Oh, catch me on Death by Saber next on Death by Saber's channel. He's a Star Wars enthusiast. We're gonna do a quiz game on movies. So Death by Saber on to catch me there. We're notoriously known as DBS, Death by Saber. Thank you. All right.
All right. So with that, I thank everybody for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.